Hello everyone, my name is Yashraj Patil and today I'll be presenting about malwares and its types and the potential impact it has on users, devices as well as their identities. So first, let us go through what malware exactly is. It's an abbreviation for malicious software, and it's a collective name for a number of malicious software variants, including viruses, ransomware, and spyware. Most of the people are aware about viruses, but there's more to it when it comes to malware. So it typically consists of a code developed by a cyber attacker and designed to cause extensive damage to data and system or to gain unauthorized access to a network. So most of the cases, it's either they are trying to steal your data or your identity, or it might be to gain unauthorized access to the network which you're operating in. So, and how do you go? How do they target you? It's either through a link or a file in most of the cases. And once the user comes in contact with the link or the file, the malware starts executing. So virus is the most primitive type of malware that everyone or almost everyone is aware of. So possibly, and as mentioned here, the most common type of malware. And viruses attach their malicious code to a clean code. That's why sometimes they are hard to detect unless you have a strong antivirus. And wait for an unsuspecting user on a or an automated process to execute them. So once that is done, they are usually contained in an executable file, files with extension of .exe. Once they start executing, they self-replicate themselves. So they spread. So instead, it copies itself using human assistance, such as using an infected floppy disk at another machine. So you must have earlier, or even now, when you take someone else's pen drive, first we used to ask whether there's virus or not, or is it infected. Even if they say yes, or they said yes, we used to check for it with antivirus and then proceed with further operations. So some viruses are harmful and delete information and corrupt the operating system. So each virus has its own what do you call it agenda. Some are to harm the system or to entirely corrupt the operating systems. So in viruses also there are types, be it boot virus or file virus. Boot is basically when the machine starts executing or the code of the boot. So this virus gets activated. Thus, when an infected machine boots, the virus loads and runs it. And this is in most of the cases the target is the operating system in case of boot viruses. Coming to file viruses, they get attached to program files. Like mentioned earlier, the executable files .exe ones. So when the infected program runs, the virus code executes, and after the virus code has finished loading and executing, it will normally load and execute the original program it has infected and call the function it intercepted so as to not arouse user suspicion. So virus they operate in basically shadows. You'll unless you keenly notice that something is wrong with your device, it is consuming more power, not power, I'd say more memory, your Wi-Fi speed or is less, or the your overall performance is degraded, you'll not get to know that you have been infected with a virus. So next we have companion virus and script viruses. So as you can see there, they exploit the characteristics of the operating system and execute it rather than directly targeting programs or boot sectors. So this is, I would not say similar to boot virus, but you can correlate with boot virus. So under DOS and Windows, DOS is Microsoft DOS, and when executing the command ABC, the method is that abc.com executes before the abc.exe, that is the executable file. So thus a companion virus could place its code in a com file with its first name similar to that of an existing file, exe file, so that there is a confusion in execution. When executing the abc command, the virus abc.com programs run. Usually the virus would launch abc.exe because that's how it will replicate. So this is known as the execution preference companion method. I guess next we move to script virus. Became a quiet hit of the hackers, and you call it as scripting also. The basic reason for this virus being successful is machines started operating on Windows, much on a larger scale. So writers of script viruses use mass mailing to target machines installed with Windows 98 or 2000, which were the early Windows versions. Now we have 10 or 11, of course, with Internet Explorer 5.1 and following versions. Next, we have worms. Worms are similar to viruses, but there is a slight difference. Uh, excuse me. They do replicate themselves in the same manner. Although cloning in the nature, it is different from a virus, as it does not need to attach itself to a file or a disk sector, which we observed in the case of virus. So just like a here the picture depicts, starting from one infected machine, they weave their way through the network connected to a consecutive machines in order to continue the spread of infection. So we can observe this, or we can execute this in a lab, uh, where all the systems are connected to a same network, and the worms, if one system gets affected by the worm, then we can expect that the following systems will also get affected. This type of malware can infect entire network of devices very quickly. So here worms focus on disrupting the network services or the nodes in the network. Trojan horse, very popular one again in the cyber world. Trojan horses bear one of the deadliest and random used malware, appearing to be worthy software, but instead it infects, damages, and compromises the security of the system. So it basically disguises itself as a good software, like we have seen in the Trojan horse case earlier in the history. It is very similar to that, and that's how the name comes. So it tempts the user into opening a program as they are satisfied that it is from a legitimate source. Like I said, it disguises itself as a good software or a clean one. Free softwares available for downloading may be Trojans. So just like the picture depicts, acting discreetly, it will breach security by creating backdoors that give other malware variants easy access. Next is spyware. Spyware is unwanted software that infiltrates your computer device, stealing your internet users data and sensitive information. So whatever activity you do with your device, and especially the online activities, so the spyware monitors it, extract the information, and spyware has different agendas. It can sell that information to different users. It can be to the advertisement companies or someone who wants your data specifically. So spyware monitors your internet activity, excuse me, tracking your login and your password information, spying your sensitive information. So yeah, once the hacker gets to know your login and password information, rest of the job is very easy. So it aims to track and sell your internet users data, capture your credit card and bank account information, and steal your personal identity. So like I said, there are various agendas to it. Stealing the personal identity as well as information are also on the top of the list. Coming to adware. Coming to adware, it's a software application in which advertising banners are displayed while a program is running. So the ads are delivered through pop-up windows, which you don't want, of course, but you can't avoid them. And the bars that appear on the program's user interface, without the consent of the target user, his online habits are sold. So this adware is very specific. So these adwares, whatever the user executes his online activity or performs his online activity, they sell that to the advertisement companies. So that's about adware. So these are known as sticky software because they stick to the interface or the wherever you are browsing, they pop up to your interface or your screen. So it stays in the infected machine without providing the facility to uninstall it. Next, we move to ransomware, and ransomware is a malicious software that infects your computer and displays messages demanding a fee to be paid in order for your system to work. And so basically, it will hijack your device or your system, possibly also gain in your login credentials, for example. Once it has gained and you can't access your own device, so in order to free it and give the access back to you, they will ask for money. Sometimes it's money, sometimes it's something else, depends on the agenda. So this class of malware is a criminal money making scheme that can be installed through deceptive links in an email message or a spam one, and instant message or website. It has the ability to lock your computer screen or your mobile screen, and encrypt important predetermined files within a password. Not necessarily the whole device. Even if the device is working, maybe your WhatsApp gets locked, or any of the important applications or files which you work on a daily basis gets locked. So they can make money out of it. So scareware is simplest type of ransomware. So it is used to scare tactics or intimidation to trick victims into paying up. So it can come up in the form of fake antivirus software in which a message suddenly appears claiming your computer has various issues and an online payment is necessary to fix them. Yes, so it will scare you or try to scare you that there's something wrong with your system and that you need to install this software or the antivirus software, for example. But it ends up being a paid software. So you pay, but yes, you don't get the software and it's a fake one basically. So that's scareware for you. And coming to anti-malware, how you tackle with all these things. Antivirus software or antivirus software are also known as anti-malware. It's a computer program used to prevent, detect, and remove malware. So that is the first and basic thing every system should have, especially PCs. With the spread of other kinds of malware, antivirus software started to provide security from other computer threats. So, antivirus software can guard users from malicious browser helper objects, browser hijackers, ransomware, worms, keyloggers, backdoors, you name it. Keyloggers also, which is not mentioned here, is also a type of malware where anything you type on the keyboard is recorded, and that information is stored, and it can be sold or used against you. And coming to anti-malware, antivirus installation of antivirus is a must to keep your system safe. That does not guarantee 100% security, but it does make up a good amount of defensive layer. So some products also include protection from further computer threats such as infected and malicious URLs, the uniform resource locators, spam, scam, and phishing attacks, online identity, which most of them try to steal, so that they can commit a crime on your behalf. And also try to avoid or try to dissuade the DDoS attacks, the distributed denial of service attacks. Now, coming to prevention of all these, so ensure that all security updates and patches are installed, be it your Windows updates or any software updates, so that you don't use old software, because the older the software, the more room for the hackers or the perpetrators to penetrate and gain information. So next is avoid suspicious links and emails. Also, look closely at the phonetics of the alphabets. So, cause sometimes they appear like a very simple link and like everything is fine, but then you click on it and you become a victim. Avoid suspicious websites which are not safe, and review software carefully before downloading. Make sure you download it from the official website itself. Leverage strong, unique passwords, and like mentioned earlier, install antivirus software. Turn on your firewall always when it comes to Windows, or yeah, Windows only. So turn on your firewall so that your network security on that front is secure. Limit application privileges, and only provide the access to that application how much ever is required for that application to function. Only buy apps from trusted sources, similar to installing software from the official websites, and back up your data regularly. Even in case, despite all the measures you take uh, to not be a victim, but even if you sometimes they fail, and if they fail, you should make sure that your data is backed up so that you don't lose anything. Coming to the conclusion part, there are a lot of security measures that can be executed to protect computers, that is your end device. When I say computers, I mean end device, which also includes your mobile phone and other devices, and networks from malware. So most security measures that are accessible to users are aimed at protecting computers from malware, adware, scam, and various types of common viruses. Nowadays, devices do come with uh, pre-installed antiviruses, but in case if it's not, then I highly suggest you install one. So even though there are a lot of companies providing these services, cyber criminals are always looking for new ways or loopholes to get around firewalls and antivirus software and try to gain access, unauthorized access of your device and information. So, however, if users take suitable steps and measures such as installing firewalls and antivirus software, they will be less likely to fall prey or to become victim of cyber criminals. So, stay safe and stay secure on this in the cyberspace. Keep your data safe because that is the oil of the 21st century. That's it. Thank you.